Hey guys, it's Hospice Nurse Allie here, and today we're going to talk about things that I wish I knew starting off as a brand new hospice nurse. Looking back on my almost 8 years working in hospice. If you haven't already, you can follow me on Instagram and TikTok. I do other types of content there as well. I'm very off-center here. First thing I wish I had known before joining hospice was the charting. Yes, it can be lengthy, but it's more so how to chart and how to write a narrative note, which is something they don't even really go over all that much in nursing school. They teach you a lot of stuff, but writing a narrative note specifically geared towards a hospice patient is not one of them. So for any nurses who are looking to get into hospice but may not have had experience writing narrative notes specifically geared towards hospice patients, my advice to you is to look at other nurses' notes in your company when you go see their patients or during training and just kind of see how they start. Because once you start your narrative note, you'll find that it flows very easily after that. But there is certain language in hospice that we use when we're charting about patients, such as when a patient is actively dying or transitioning and things like that. The second thing that I wish I had beefed up more before coming into hospice is like a SOAP or a SOAPy note. You have to use those a lot because you are doing your independent assessment and you are the eyes and ears for the physician or the on-call provider or any provider. So you have to get used to being able to describe your patient over the phone so that the team can know what the correct course of action is to take. And that comes with having a good report to hand over. And I encourage everybody to use a SOAP or SOAPy note before they call a provider, because that provider is for sure going to ask you one question you're not prepared for. So it's good to have everything jotted down just in case. The other thing that I wish I had known going into hospice was to not always mimic what other nurses do as far as how they schedule their day or how they, do their charting. Because some nurses will go through all their visits and do charting at home and just kind of write down the important stuff. Others will chart during their visit or immediately after. That's the type of nurse I am. I think it works a lot better because I would prefer not to bring my work home with me, which brings me to the next thing. The last thing that I had wished I had known before going into hospice was how to set boundaries. It is something that I see a lot of new nurses in general struggle with, but in hospice, it can be a lot more of a struggle because you're working one-on-one with patients. You don't have a nurse coming in every shift. It doesn't change up. So there is usually a main nurse, the RN case manager. There's also the main team. So this can really go for anyone who is working in hospice. You want to make sure to set those boundaries. For me, it meant, not answering text messages or phone calls after hours, or shutting off my phone after I got out of work. For people who are really much so involved, don't give out your personal phone number to patients or families, because you do deserve that time off. You do deserve to have work-life balance. And I find a lot of people will be burnt out from hospice. It can be harder to draw that line.
Don't cross this line.
And have those boundaries with patients with our job, because they also make you feel like maybe perhaps you're not as much of a team player if you don't, make it easy and just go see this patient because you've seen them for so long or you know what's going on. There should be adequate staffing that if it's after hours, that there should be someone there. And if taking a patient means you're going to run over the clock, there should be a boundary that says I'm going to start later the next day or I'm not going to take that patient at all. And I know that sounds a little harsh and no one says you can't do those things, but just remember you deserve a work-life balance, and doing those things a lot and continually doing them can burn you out. So to prevent burnt out, I say be able to set boundaries, be able to say no. It is okay. It is not a burden that weighs on you to fulfill maybe short staffing, or make sure you're setting those boundaries. That's all I have to say. So those are the things that I wish I had known when I started hospice. I had a lot of great preceptors who helped me kind of make my way, but I definitely have changed a lot over the years of what I have done in hospice and how I handle things. And it is a very different type of nursing. So we all have our approach to it for sure. And we're all in it because we all have our personal reasons, but you got to make sure that you're also taking care of you. Don't forget to subscribe here and follow me on all my other socials so you can kind of keep up. I love meeting people who are interested in this field, or people who already work in this field or have had experience with hospice in some way. And we can just kind of grow our community, because we are kind of a niche, and it's kind of like a little hidden gem of the nursing world, of the medical world in general. So definitely would love to grow a little bit more, to meet more people and discuss what we all love to do. So I hope you guys have a great day and enjoyed the video. See you next time.